everyone, and welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I got a very special show for you guys where I'll be talking about old movie releases, an animated short review, that's a new thing for today, and also some Halo. But before we get started, let me introduce the new theme song that'll be going on for every single podcast now, and live stream and all of that. And so without further ado, let's introduce it. Oops, don't need to see that twice. So yeah, that's the new theme song. I kind of based it off of the Dracula score, well, which is based off of Pyotr Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake Op 20, and that's one of my favorite songs of all time. I first heard it in Dracula, and just ever since I've kind of been obsessed with it. And so I created that new theme to kind of encompass that and show that love of it, but also because I wanted to show the different eras that I'm covering on Really Old Movies. So there was a couple films from the silent era, from the 20s, the 30s, even 1900s and the 50s, 60s. That's kind of the goal and whole point of that new theme song. And so with that, now let's move on to today's old movie news. So first off, we got this film here that Criterion Collection just announced that they're releasing on 4K and on Blu-ray, and that's the original Scarface from 1932, and I'm really excited to check this one out. I absolutely love that cover. I think it's really cool, and it stars Paul Mooney, Boris Karloff, George Raft, and it's directed by Howard Hawks. So what's cool about this release, it has a new restoration with an uncompressed audio soundtrack, and it has a 4K disc for the film and a Blu-ray disc with the special features. It has the alternate ending from the censored version of the film, because this film was censored. It has that's cool. A new conversation between Bill Hader and author Megan Abbott. It also has an interview with a film scholar and director Howard Hawks' innovative use of sound and editing. This is one of the earliest successful sound films. And it's got so much more, but I'm really excited to check this one out. I absolutely love that cover there. And being that I was just in Chicago, where all this crazy stuff happened, during the Prohibition era, I'm really excited to check this film out. I've so far seen movies like The Roaring Twenties. I've seen Little Caesar, Public Enemy. So this is just a next one within that I'm very, very excited to check out. Okay. So let's adjust that here for a second. Alright, next is the Kino Lorber release for this month that I'm excited about. That won't be released until October, but they just announced it. And this is the Blu-ray of Buster Keaton's film Seven Chances and Sherlock Jr. I have not seen Seven Chances, but I absolutely love Sherlock Jr. That's one of my favorite I almost said Hitchcock. One of my favorite Buster Keaton films, and just one of my favorite movies in general. So I'm really excited for this one to come out. It's got some great extras. It's got some commentaries. It's got a Three Stooges short that's a remake of Seven Chances. And it also has an Edwin S. Porter short. That's what Seven Chances is loosely based on. And it also has the music. But all around, I'm really excited to check it out. I really love Sherlock Jr. I'm going to move this for a second here. Hopefully that doesn't kill everybody's ears. But I'm really excited to see this. Last year, or I guess 2 years ago, I saw Kino Lorber's restoration of another Buster Keaton film, Our Hospitality. That was a great restoration they did there. So I'm excited to see what they did with this one. All right, the next piece of movie news here. So I wanted to let everybody know about the Warner Archive Collection. I've talked about them a few times. They have a site on Amazon now. Well, it's been a couple years since they've moved over to here. They used to have their own. But I'm really wanting to promote it and just excited to get more from them. I mean, knowing Matt Patterson and all of them, I wish they were still a part of it. I know George is, but it's just a really cool thing that they do here, restoring these more obscure, lesser known, or forgotten films. And so this is just another way of checking that out. It's through Warner Archive Collection. They got some great stuff. And like I was mentioning a couple weeks ago, they may be changing to Warner Classics. That might be the new name of the archive collection. But anyways, make sure to check it out on their Amazon site. And so now, without further ado, let's go and talk about my animated movie review. This is the first one I've done, and this will be kind of a short one, about 30 seconds or so, and I'll be clipping the audio from this and releasing it on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. So with that, let's move on to the short. Okay, let's expand this just a little bit more. Alright, so today is our very first animated short review, and today's short review is the Tom and Jerry short Baby Puss from 1943. Baby Puss from 1943 is a tune where Tom is dressed and treated like a baby by his owner. She keeps... Let me start that over. I gotta put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Baby Puss from 1943 is a tune where Tom is dressed and treated like a baby by his owner. She keeps throwing him back into his bed and threatening to spank him if he doesn't obey. Jerry learns this and gets Tom's friends to come in and cause chaos by throwing him around and filling his diaper with a fish, much to the joy of Jerry. Tom's owner has had it with him and gives him castor oil, with Jerry laughing at Tom for vomiting, but then in turn ends up swallowing some and vomiting himself. I liked this tune as a kid, and I still think it's a fun one, and I give it a 4 out of 5. I wish Jerry was in the cartoon more and did more. He's more in the background for most of the short. This short mostly has Tom's friends, and they're causing his trouble. This mostly has Tom's friends, and they're causing trouble. You can find this tune on HBO Max in their Tom and Jerry collection. And thanks for watching and listening to today's first ever really old tune review. New tune reviews are released Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. Alright, well thank you guys. That's the first animated short. Like I said, every week I'll be doing new releases of that, or new shorts rather, recording all of those. And they'll be released, like I said, in those different places. And there's going to be a playlist on YouTube where you can watch them. And I'm really excited to get into it more. You know, I love animation as much as I love film. And just to keep track and keep reviewing, right? Because there's so many animated shorts that I want to see and that they're out there. I wanted to have a way of doing that on a more consistent basis. So let me check how we're sounding real quick. Perfect. We sound great, guys. Alright, so now with that, let's move on to today's movie review. Looks like we got a spam thing. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Perfect. Now let's move on to today's movie review. Alright, today's movie review is on Love Affair from 1939, starring Irene Dunne and Charles Boyer. Good grief. I'm really sorry. I thought I put that in Do Not Disturb. Do not disturb me. Alright, let's do that again. Alright, today's movie review is on Love Affair from 1939, starring Irene Dunne and Charles Boyer, and directed by Leo McCarey. So, some essential movie details about this film. From IMDb, in 1957, director Leo McCarey remade this movie as An Affair to Remember in 1957, starring Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. And another detail about that, Cary Grant and Irene Dunne actually did a film together called The Awful Truth in 1937. That's a film I've talked about a lot on this show that I reviewed a couple of years ago, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's really funny. And another detail, according to Irene Dunne and Charles Boyer, this is their favorite movie they ever did amongst their entire filmography. So I think that's pretty cool and interesting that they really loved this specific movie. And so with that, let's get into my thoughts on the plot. So the plot, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I love this plot. I don't love the idea that they're cheating on their lovers. This isn't quite as bad as the David Lean films that I always review. Those ones, they're legitimately already married and committed to someone. You know, these movies, or this movie rather, they're not really involved with their romantic relationships. Like, I'm pretty sure Charles Boyer's character is engaged, but he hasn't seen her in months. And then Irene Dunne, she doesn't really have a relationship with the guy she's kind of seeing. So it's not as bad as those David Lean films. I don't know, I have a hard time with those kind of stories. But in this case, it's not as bad. But still, you know, it's a bit messed up. But ironically, I felt that the lovers were a bit more developed in the 57 film. We actually spent a lot more time with them than we do in this movie. This movie, they're hardly really a part of the plot, honestly. Like the guy, I mean, as soon as she comes back and says, I'm going to go marry Charles Boyer. I forgot the characters' names. I'll just use the actors' names. And then that's when she gets in the accident and whatnot. And he was kind of helping her try to get to that point. Oh no, they're just friends, right? At that point. So, like I said, they weren't really even together. And then Charles Boyer's fiancée doesn't really play a big part in the film, like she really does in The Affair to Remember, her character in that. So I think they're a little bit more developed there. I don't know. But other than that, my favorite scene in the movie really is when they're at their grandma's house. It's very wholesome. I love the scene that they're playing music together. It's a beautiful moment. I also love how the film ends with Boyer realizing why Irene Dunne couldn't make it to their meetup. And I thought that was really, really touching, especially when, you know, the door closes and we see the painting in the mirror. That just gets me every time. I love that moment and that scene. And yeah, I love that. But something else my wife pointed out to me as we watched it together that was interesting was, why would the doctor be okay with her not talking to her would-be lover, you know, about her injuries? He's like, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. It's like, wait, what? Why? It doesn't make any sense. It does for the sense of the drama and whatnot, but if you really think about it, you're like, a normal doctor would have said, no, go talk to him. What's wrong with you? It's a little weird, and I get she doesn't want him to see her all broken or whatever. I don't think it should have been the doctor. I actually think it should have been her friend guy being like, okay, yeah, we won't tell him. Like that, I think that would have made a little bit more sense than the doctor. The doctor, he's like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I don't know. It seemed a little weird that the doctor was willing to do that. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the plot. A 4.5 out of 5. Alright, let's talk about the acting. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was superb. I love Charles Boyer and Irene Dunne. I think they have incredible chemistry together, and they're both really good in their roles. His best scene to me is when he's making his monologue and talking about his hurt feelings, but kind of in an indirect way, kind of digging the knife into her when she already feels bad that she couldn't go because she got in an accident. So it's just all of that. I love that scene. I also love, though, when he realizes it and he doesn't say anything. He just looks up and sees the painting, and then we see the painting, and then, oh, that's just a beautiful moment. And I thought he did excellent acting there. I also loved Irene Dunne as well. She was super sarcastic for most of the film, but to me, her best scene actually is when she's with the grandma and singing and whatnot, and we kind of see more of her sweeter side and whatnot. I really loved that. And she had just been kind of, standoffish, sarcastic, but that moment I really think is when their relationship started to blossom, and I thought that was really good. And it helps us see in her a different light. So, 5 out of 5 all across the board. All the other actors were okay too. I always like that. I don't remember her name, but the actress for the grandma, she's always really good in movies she's in. She's also in. Oh, she was in that Christmas movie I watched last year. Remember the Night or something like that. I can't remember that. Oh, I wish I remembered the name of it. It's basically like the Scrooge storyline, but yeah, all around great cast, and especially Charles Boyer and Irene Dunn. They're incredible. All right, let's move on to directing. Directing, I gave a 5 out of 5. It was so good. He did so good here, Leo McCarey. I could see why he would want to remake this story because he just loved it so much. He actually developed it based on a real experience of him traveling with his wife because he's like, oh, I'm sick of doing these screwball comedies. She's like, well, why don't you think about it? Let's go on vacation. And then during that, he's like, hey, why don't I make a story about a vacation? About two lovers who've kind of already committed to others, but they fall in love on a boat, right? So it's basically his idea, and then he had Mildred Cram develop the script and whatnot, and together they created the storyline. But yeah, I thought he did really good with that aspect. He also did really good with the cinematography and us feeling the drama and, the will they, won't they, and them just, I wouldn't say lovers quarrel, more so that he felt betrayed by her. And especially when he's, sitting on top of the Empire State Building, we feel kind of the tension with him, especially when at the very last moment, the guard or whatever is like, you going down? He's like, yeah. And you could just tell he's so pissed. I love that. I think Leo McCarey did a really good job of conveying that hurt in that moment without having to say anything, really. So, really good directing, 5 out of 5. Alright, cinematography and special effects, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was really good. Especially the last scene, like I keep mentioning, the reveal of the painting. Because we see his reaction, like, and then we're like, what's he looking at? And then the door opens and shows a mirror, and there's a mirror on the door, and it shows the painting. And I just loved how clever that was. There's a couple other clever scenes like that too. But all around, it's really good. I also like the scenes when they're on the boat. They're really cool too. It does feel a little limited. I mean, compare it to An Affair to Remember. You kind of feel like you're really in New York City. This one feels more like a stage, especially when they're in the grandma's house. But honestly, if you compare the cinematography in this movie to An Affair to Remember, now keep in mind, it's the same director. He remade the same movie. It almost feels shot for shot the same. I was like, I've seen this scene already. It's like, oh yeah, because I watched the remake. So that was pretty interesting too. But anyways, really good camera work, especially this scene right here when they're talking about, okay, we'll meet each other in 6 months. And they're like, where should we meet? And then in the background is the Empire State, and it's like shining. You're like, that's it. That's where we'll meet. The tallest building in the world at that point. So that was a really cool moment. 4.5 out of 5. All right, the music. I also gave a 5 out of 5. I thought it was great. I love the scene where Irene Dunn is singing. Beautiful, beautiful moment. We kind of see a different light on her. And even when she's singing in the club, you can feel the pain of her and whatnot. I love that. I also love the scenes with the kid choir. Beautiful, beautiful singing around. All around, really good music. The score itself is just okay. Not really memorable, but the kids singing and her singing, I don't know if it really is her. It could be, like happened a lot. They'd hire someone else to sing, but I digress. It's really good music. I really liked it. 5 out of 5. Really makes you feel emotions and whatnot, which I don't usually feel. I'm kind of a robot, but the music was really good here, and I really appreciated it. Alright, so tallying that all up, that brings my Letterboxd score to 4.8 out of 5, which I'm rounding to a 5 out of 5. So that brings my Criticalist score to a 96%. So would I recommend this movie? Yes, I would. Especially if you've seen Sleepless in Seattle and An Affair to Remember. Now, if you've ever seen Sleepless in Seattle, they're talking about An Affair to Remember, and that movie, Sleepless in Seattle, is a loose remake of that, and then An Affair to Remember is a remake of this. So, if you want to see like a trifecta, like watch all three of them. They're not exactly the same, but I think it's interesting to see kind of how over the years the differences in filmmaking and romance stories in general and whatnot. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I had a great time with this movie. You know, like I mentioned, the affair part I don't love so much, but it's not, like I mentioned, as bad as like a David Lean film where they're actually already married or whatnot. It's still a bit messed up though. They don't really address it either. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of stories like that, but this movie worked for me despite all of that. All right, well, those are my thoughts on Love Affair from 1939 from director Leo McCarey. All right, so let's put back on this camera here. So let's close that out. And now let's get good old halos set up. Oh, I did that backwards. Shoot. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That was a really good movie, though. I definitely want to pick up the Criterion from the... I want to pick up the Criterion Collection release of it. It looks really good. Sorry. Having a good old bubbly here. Okay. Let's see how the audio sounds here. Perfect. Oh yeah, let me see if the halo sounds good. Perfect. Right. Let's get the controller out. Oh, you know what? I should probably go. I'll be right back, guys. I need to take care of something real quick. Testing. Okay, let's hear how that sounds. Testing. Perfect. All right. I'm going to try out probably one or two things, and then actually, oh, let me move this real quick. Sorry for everybody's ears. I'm going to try out a new demo that I just got recently on Steam for the, well, actually, I'll share that as a surprise later. Never mind. But that should be fun. Perfect. hopefully everybody's got some good plans for Labor Day. I'm actually going to Cinecon. I'll show you guys that here real quick. Cinecon is a classic movie film festival where they show movies from old Hollywood era, and a lot of them haven't been seen since they were in theaters. So I'm really excited for that. This is my third year going, and I'll be going on Monday here. I guess there's not a lot of people on this. Okay. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Jeez. Alright. I thought I got that kill. Maybe not. Come on. Mr. Nocturnal. Oh, so close. Okay. Alright, got one kill. Jeez. Kill from the grave. Let's do a round of this. Here we go. So I'll do this, and then I want to try out a demo that I just downloaded from Steam. Just see how it is. And it'll be for a game I want to do in the future on the show. Once I've defeated or completed Halo 1, maybe once I've completed Halo 1, I'll start playing this one. It's not going to be out for a while though, because it's a remaster of an older game that they're redoing. It's coming out, I want to say, in November. I'll have to check, but that should be fun though. Okay. But yeah, Cinecon, man, I'm really excited for that. It's gonna be at the Writers Guild of America Theater over in Los Angeles. Now, I'm not one for unions or anything like that, but I think it's pretty cool that they're letting the show happen there. It's a really, really cool event, and I love that the focus is on obscure movies. You know, they're not going to show Casablanca there, is what I hear all the time, right? Which is my favorite movie, but everybody's seen Casablanca. You know, it's one of those that everybody talks about, everybody shows. So I'm excited to go again. And what they try to do a lot is have it be on old film too. So they have to go to theaters that still have those old projectors. And the first year I went, it was at the Hollywood Legion Theater. That was a really cool place, seeing all the army stuff there and military stuff. There's a lot of people in the 40s in World War II were in the army, especially actors. So that was a really cool theater. Last year it was at the Old Town Music Hall, I believe is what it's called. And they do a lot of really cool videos there. It's got this giant Wurlitzer organ, one of those old school silent film ones with all the different sound effects that play along with the silent movie. I haven't seen it in action, I just got to look at it. So hopefully I get to go back again and see someone playing a score on it. It'd be really, really cool to see. But yeah, I'm really excited for Cinecon. And hopefully I'll get to see some people I know there. Alright, here we go. Uh-oh. So dark. Crap, there's so many of them. Am I the last one?
Last man standing.
Oh my gosh. Of course I am. Quick.
Infected.
Oh.
Round over.
What are these names? My sad wiener. These names, man, I swear. Ugh.
Infection.
It's a really dark map. Hope you guys can see that. I can barely see it myself.
Infected.
Oh, I knew he was coming, but I didn't know from where. Just one last guy.
Round over. Infection.
Almost died there.
Infected. New zombie. Game over.
These names, man. All right, so let's back up this guy here. So the next one here is a demo for, let me see. Come on, come here, mouse. Oh, shoot. Let me see if I can pull the tab. There we go. Oh, let me turn that one on. Okay. Perfect.
A long time ago.
Epic Mickey! Woohoo!
Peculiar day. My mirror lured someone out of his bed.
I love this game. I haven't played it in so many years, but when I heard they're redoing it, like updating it, whatnot, I got really, really excited. So hopefully I don't get copyright struck from stinking Disney here. So we'll see how long the stream lasts, but
Perhaps it knew that the curious intruder had a role to play in my project.
there we go. One of the reasons why I love this is that it's all about the old animation, old history. And so I'm really, really excited to play this game. Let's see how long this lasts. Is that it's all about the old animation, old history. And so I'm really, really excited to play this game. The animation looks so good here. They did a really good job. I remember how it used to look. It was good, but this is incredible. This demo just came out a couple days ago. I know Disney kind of stinks now, but seeing this kind of reminds me of the good old days of just when they were just good, and I just loved this era and this wanting to get back to history and talk about these games. So, or about these cartoons, I should say. This and Cuphead, I want to eventually play for the show. It's symbiote. He's becoming Venom. I think I had this on my Xbox 360. It was either one or two. I can't remember which one I had. Such beautiful animation, man. All right. All right, let's try it out. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Not so lucky if you know his history. I love doing that video talking about Oswald. His shorts get really weird, I'm not gonna lie. After you watch all the Disney ones, they get really weird. It's so scary. Reminds me of Star Trek. I think it's Next Generation, when they're trying to turn Picard into a Borg. They drill in his eye. Oh, that always got me. I don't know how much into the game the demo goes. It might just be this one level. Let's get them. Yet another kick spam. All right. Over here. Almost didn't make that. Oh wait, where'd he go? There we go. Like the Lego games, I like to collect all the tickets and stuff. Haha. That was cool. Very good. Oh, nope. So close. Cool. Excuse me. Just burp in front of everybody. just had to collect everything. Let me move over to this screen here. No? Maybe not. Okay. Oh, oops. Let's do it, Mickey. Being the ruse is red. This game looks amazing, man. I suppose not. Not ready to go there yet, so we'll go up this way. Oh, cool. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how far this tutorial will go. Let's pause real quick. I really can't. Here. Okay. I'll figure it out later. Come on. There we go. I want the film reel. So much easier. Alright, cool. Oh no. I'm just gonna ride this one up. Oh no! Oh no! Oh my gosh. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so let's get back to this guy here. So that's about as far as I can go for today, guys, but that was pretty fun. I'm really looking forward to that game coming out. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with that as a kid. But yeah, with that, thank you all so much. And this has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care, everyone.